Hello and welcome everyone, I am Madals and this is another StarCraft 2 England cast. Today I got game 2 of a best of 3, it's from the Zotac Cup and it is between XMG's Monchi, the green Protoss player in the top left position, and EmpireBeasty, the yellow Terran in the lower right, and well that means that it is a PvT. Now seriously guys, if you haven't watched game 1, pause this video, go to my channel and give it a watch because it was good, it was fun, and it was back and forth for quite a bit. Like, it was difficult to say. There was points where it was like, ah, they're going to lose, and then it was like, no, they're going to win, and then it was like, ah, and it went like that for a long time, and finally, I'm hoping everyone who hasn't watched it is now paused and gone to watch it, but basically, Monchi is one game up in this best of 3 series. Now, the map in Tomb Valley, let's talk a little bit about this. Well, obviously, they're in cross spawns. It's not forced cross spawns though, that's why that probe is going out to scout and be like, hey, what is that Terran up to? Not another 1-1-1 player, I hope. But obviously, Terran just letting that, I'm just going to build SCVs, no need to scout, yep. Anyway, looking around, obviously, let's think. Obviously, the natural base, it's a really interesting map, this natural base, because you can't really wall off your natural and main. Like, generally you have, in progression, is like, the ramp would be over, say, here, or like in that position. So you could wall that off, and then your natural would be safe, and your main would be safe. But on this map, you kind of either have to wall off across there, or you can wall off there, but then your main's still exposed. It's all very peculiar, but it leads to some interesting things, which is obviously great fun. Now, looking here, we do of course have the barracks coming out, the command center building dem SCVs, we've got the gateway, we've got the gas coming down from Monchi, so already a different play style to game 1. Game 1 was all about the fast expansion, Nexus first, just being like economy, 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 let's not die. And he did that quite successfully actually. And well, last thing to mention about the map, obviously, is the third base. Now, the third base, rocks basically blocking your quick route between, but that shouldn't bother either of these players. It's neither, I'll imagine, in this matchup will take super quick thirds. It's just not something that's typically done, and when you are ready to take your third base, those rocks are not a problem in the slightest. Now, obviously, the SCV scout going off down here, but basically both players know where the other one is. So everything all fine. We've got the command center coming down, so it's a 1-rack command center opening from Beasty, so really different opposite ends of the spectrum right now. Game 1, of course, we have Monchi going really economically focused with the Nexus first. Game 2, we're seeing Beasty go from that one-base super aggression all-in to really going for the mid-game and a much more macro setting. How will that play out? Well, we'll wait and see. Monchi at the moment, just going pretty standard. Obviously, it's difficult to call what's going to go down because obviously with the one gas, there's lots of options available. I mean, you can go for 3 gates, 4 gates, you can get really anything that you want. There's no even reason why you couldn't just get a second gateway up, get for a quicker expansion, etc, etc. This pylon though is making me think something fishy is going to go on because it is right down in the middle of the corner. It's a great place to hide any tech that you don't want your opponent seeing, especially with a scan. So maybe we'll see some kind of unusual tech path, something hidden. Again, options available. The bunker coming down, it's a great choice. It's not too hard to hold this against Protoss. We do, of course, have the single Zealot on its way up there now, so maybe it will get in, but it's very unlikely. It won't go down, though, either. Just gonna run back, basically. The expansion coming down, so it's a 1-gate expansion, and this is exactly what I mean why it's hard to call with the single gas. Second gas now coming up, because a 1-gate expansion isn't implausible. We've now got the robotic facility on it, so it allows you to do a lot of stuff getting that 1 gas up early. It's allowed a not super late expansion, good tech options. It's kind of a good all-round build, to be honest. I like that. I think, especially when you're a game up, don't take any risks. Just kind of level yourself out. Be the jack of all trades as opposed to master of none, because you don't need to take risks that you'll lose somewhere you're not prepared. Third base coming out for Beasty. So literally, as I was sitting there saying, neither player is going to rush to take a third base. Well, this is indicating that it's super economically focused. It will probably stay in the main base for quite a while, just producing SCVs and their mules. But it will, of course, flow down to the third base at some point relatively soon. Looking here, we've got 2 more gateways adding on. That takes up to 3 gate. The warp gate tech on its way, the observer coming out as well. So that will, of course, reveal everything that could be coming down. Work account-wise, we're 29 to 25 in the favour of the Protoss player. Although that will change once that orbital command comes into play. We've got the tech lab on its way down. Quite high gas actually out for Monchi right now. So I'm interested to see what all that gas is going to be spent on. Of course, warp gate tech just finishing up. Those 2 additional gateways coming out. So could be used for various things. Probably a couple of sentries will get chucked down. There's one quick way to spend lots of gas. There we go. So one sentry on its way. We've got an immortal coming out as well. This is just a very, very defensive force. And again, just starting to chip away those rocks. The watchtower in the middle being held very effectively by the Protoss player, all the vision there. And, well, a second bunker coming down. So clearly Beasty is slightly concerned that there's some kind of aggression coming in. A third bunker as well. Really, really acting safe right now. And again, the reason he wants to do that is because he doesn't have much in terms of an army. He literally just has a handful of Marines, what, 7 of them, and, well, getting one more order out now. He's only got 2 barracks for a start, and he is very economically focused, so he's got to try and do the best he can at the moment. Gonna try and pick off that observer, I would imagine, but just waiting. Obviously a scan, no need to go off there. The observer's seen the orbital command, that's the important thing, knows that a third is out. And there's the third base from Monchi right on cue. He's happy with where he's going down, immortal, clearing out those rocks very, very efficiently. The robotics bay coming out now, so a real rush up to Colossus tech from the Protoss player. This could be really quite potent, but both players are really situated in a very macro position right now. The double engineering bay, that's again just fairly standard, double upgrades coming out. It's a nice style of play. It means that your Marines and Marauders are just really, really strong. It means gateway units are going to struggle. The problem, of course, is going to be the Colossi when they start coming out on the field, because once they get up to about 3 or 4, you need Vikings. You can't deal with them without the Vikings, effectively. We've got the factory coming down. That's most likely just going to be for the starport. There we go, the reactor coming down. We need to really identify, though, as the Terran player, that, of course, there is something there. And as you can see here, Beasty hasn't even scouted his opponent yet. He has no clue about what's going on in the slightest. Just there's Monchi's view. He can see pretty much loads. There's Beasty's view. Just like, nope, nothing going on. He has no clue. So that again can be a small problem, because you need to get that scouting information, because really your opponent can be doing lots of different things, and that's why the 3 bunkers will most likely probably chuck down, just in anticipation of the fact that there's some kind of push coming, because there's no information to tell you otherwise. A missile turret on its way, just preparing for any kind of DTs, and when you've won game 1, DT rushing or something like that isn't necessarily a bad idea, because you can deal some good damage, you can potentially win the game there, going for some kind of all-in. If it doesn't work, well, you've got game 3, and that's always a plus side. We do have the double upgrades coming out for the Protoss and Terran players, so upgrade-wise, we should see, obviously, Monchi start coming ahead if he does choose to start chrono boosting those. For the moment, his chrono boosts appear to be getting saved, or at least not spent. Getting saved may not necessarily be the right thing. We've got them coming out on the Colossus. There comes down the scan, sees the extended thermal lance researching, sees of course the robotic facility, and should also pick up the, I don't know if it did pick up the Colossus, it may have done, just on the very edge of that there, but here we go, we've got some infantry moving across the map now, but this won't concern Monchi in the slightest. He's already got 2 Colossus out. The third one will be out by the time that infantry push comes, or will be popping very, very soon after. We've got the factory coming to scout. We've got just a couple more infantry units sitting around here. The third base up nicely. The third base for Monchi also up. He's adding on a lot of extra gateways right here. That's just going to help him really get out some more stuff. A lot more gateways in the main base as well. So really has been focused on his mid and economic game for the moment, but now switching more into getting that army composition up. If we look at the work count, 55 to 63, so Beasty should have a complete beast of an economy right now. Here we go, we're going to have a little bit of an engagement here. Don't want to send small numbers of infantry out on their own, because once you get Colossus and Colossi out there, then, well, huge damage gets it done. And as you can see here, in terms of the loss tab, this force will engage very cost effectively at this stage of the game. The Vikings are starting in production, 2 out already. They need to really start racking up their numbers. A nice little double drop though coming into the natural base. We're going to see an awful lot of probes get taken down. The Nexus may even get focused. Will any of the Protoss army get back in time? Well, it's going to be pretty close, and, well, it does look like the Nexus will be saved. Again, the drop will get picked up. 2 Marines, unfortunately, were left to die, but that, again, you can't save everyone in war, and that would appear to be the case here. Now, the drop, of course, still just threatening, and that means that Monchi's going to be a bit hesitant to move out too far forward, but with 4 Stalkers there, those 2 medevacs, all they need to do is really come over here and just get somewhere a little bit safer. We've got 4 Colossi in, we've got 1 Immortal, I believe. That factory getting taken down. We've got some good forward pylons here, so it's counter-aggression to the max. 4 Vikings on the field, 6 about to be out. That will deal with the Colossus quite effectively. It's just whether they can deal enough damage in the meantime. The 1-1 upgrade's done for both players, so it's equal upgrade. It all comes down to the force. Army supply is very, very similar. This is going to be incredibly close. It all comes down to the engagement. That 1 Colossus misstepping, though. That is a huge mistake and allows the Vikings to get on to a good start. None of the infantry really hurt yet. A lot of SCVs are getting picked off. But here we go with the infantry ball, fighting in the best position it can. The Colossi need to be focused down by those Vikings. If they fall, then the rest of this force is going to really struggle. The medevac numbers are, well, there's no medevacs on the field at all. One Colossus down, the second one about to fall, both on red health. All the Colossus are gone, and there's monchi with the GG. He knows his push was not good enough, and all from that one massive mistake. Also the fact that there was a drop simultaneously going down in the natural base meant that he lost that game completely. Anyway, that was game 2, guys. If you did enjoy it, well, I'll see you at game 3 any second. It's on my channel, so catch you, well, now. See you in a bit.